Time tactic number 14 is to control interruptions. Control interruptions. We have a picture here of homeschool mom. Little Johnny, about 3 years old, is interrupting her for the 17th time that morning, and she's getting frustrated with it because she doesn't have any systems in place for handling her interruptions. Now, as our family has grown, we've had to address this issue a number of times. And one of the ways that we have done it is by establishing blood and smoke time. What I mean by that is when we tell the children it's blood and smoke time, it means you're not allowed to interrupt mom and daddy for anything that does not involve either blood or smoke. And so if somebody's having a heart attack in the next room, that's got to wait. There is no blood and there's no smoke. Okay? We don't quite take it that far, but I think you get the idea. I heard a businessman one time telling about how he had handled interruptions. He said if he had a visitor that was staying in his office too long, he would say to them, "Oh, come here, I'd like to show you something." And he would take the visitor outside of the office into the hallway, and he would show them something. Didn't matter what it was. It could be a picture on the wall or a plant or whatever, as long as it was outside of the office. Once he was outside, then he would say, "Well, if you will excuse me, I've got to get back to work now. But it's been good visiting with you. I'll see you later." And he would excuse himself from them, which was a lot easier and more tactful than trying to get them out of his office. So maybe in the homeschool situation, I know we have a relative that every once in a while they drop in right in the middle of the homeschool day. Has anybody else ever experienced that? And so that may be a tactful way that you can use. I had a pastor friend that told me about a similar tactic he would use. He said, if he had a person who was sitting in his office too long and he really felt like the visit needed to end, he would say to them, "Why don't we have a word of prayer before you go?" And he would pray with them, and then when he said amen, he would escort them to the door and thank them for their visit. Now, you might hear that and think, "I don't know if I like that, Rick. That sounds a little bit manipulative." Well, no. Here's what you got to remember. Is there any such thing as an unimportant person? No. We all agree with that, right? Everybody's important to God and ought to be important to us as well. But what we got to remember is there are important people who will come to you with some pretty unimportant situations that can consume an awful lot of your time if you don't have a plan in place for dealing with it. So, get some tactics for controlling those interruptions.